If you like cool toned eyeshadow palettes, you are in the right spot, my friends. I recently filmed a video where I was talking about the best warm toned palettes in my collection. If you're looking for warm vibes, that's gonna be linked down below. But this is the cool toned edition. We're gonna talk about some cool toned eyeshadow palettes that I love that are in my collection that you may wanna check out if you're a cool toned lover. Let's go ahead and get started. If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, stay tuned. That's what we're about to do. We are going to jump right in, friends. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the palette that is on my eyes today because this was a new palette to me. If you're interested, I just tried out the newest release from Nomad Cosmetics. It is their Florida Keys palette, the Keys like beachy and peachy palette. That's what's on my eyes, so that will also be linked down below. But speaking of Nomad, there are other palettes in my collection from Nomad Cosmetics that I love the cool toned vibe of. I'm more of a neutrals girl, so I like a cool toned neutral. Like, that's my thing. So first of all, Nomad did recently come out with their travel collection, like the travel air palettes. This one is the Oslo palette. So it's $22 on the website, and you do have 6 shades here. You can see there are some grays, but there's this like beautiful rose gold in democratic design. You have this like Nordic cool silver shade. You have this natural shadow. It's called natural, but it's almost like a taupe vibe to it that I really, really love. And so of course, Nomad Cosmetics they're based on travel. They are a brand that loves travel and makeup like me. Hello, it makes sense. And so this is based off of the capital of Norway, Oslo. So I think that is exciting as well. I do have a couple looks with these new travel air palettes, so I'll have that linked down below if you're interested. But this would be great for someone who is looking for a smaller palette. You want to create quick and easy looks. You're going to get like neutral vibes over here. I have a bright blue eye on today. You're not going to get that from this. You can't really go wrong with these palettes. I love the quality. I think they're amazing. I love a travel palette. You do have a cute mirror in here. And of course I have a code with Nomad, KBELLA, if you want to save some money. But this is the first one, $22 to check out from them. This next one is also from Nomad Cosmetics. And it's a bestseller and it's currently sold out. I am so sorry, but they are planning to restock it, okay? If you are a cool toned lover. This one is $49, so it's gonna set you back more than the smaller travel palette, but this is the Ghost Town USA, y'all. I love this eyeshadow palette. I love the vibe. I love, again, that they're like cool toned neutrals, but you do have some more fun pops of color here. First of all, let me see if I can catch this shift. Like, how stinking cool is that? So here is the color story right here, and like this is my area of expertise, my area of comfort. I love these shadows. I love these shades. They're so shifty and multi-dimensional. Nomad is usually matte heavy, but I love that we have 3 rows of shimmers in here. And then of course you have like traditional slate grays in the middle and some fun greens for a fun pop of color, which I really love. I love the diversity here of the palette, but I also love the way that like these are like, hello, like check that out. These are in little sections of 6, which make it easy when you're trying to like compile a look together if you're someone like me. I feel like I'm not super creative when it comes to putting colors together. But on the website, it says that this is infused with prickly pear cactus seed oil to help keep your colors fresh no matter what dusty town you ride into. I love that. That is so cute. Cruelty-free, vegan. Of course, again, this one is sold out at the moment, but they're gonna restock in the fall for spooky season. So stay tuned because this is, y'all, this is beautiful. I do also like have looks with this palette. So any eyeshadow palette that I have looks with, I'm gonna leave those down below if you wanna binge watch, but y'all, this is a good one. If you are a cool toned lover and you did not pick this one up last season, you're gonna want this season. So Nomad Cosmetics is an indie brand. If indie is not your style, if you want something where you can like go in, you can see it in person, you can swatch it, this one I have to say, I'm not currently seeing it on the Sephora website, but I did pick up the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. Actually, I think I got mine from Ulta. So check out Ulta, check out Sephora, or if you want to save 15% on the Natasha Denona website, again, KBeLLA will save you money there. But this one is mainstream. And this is a color story that I honestly did not think I was going to pick up or enjoy. I love Natasha Denona, okay? Let me just set the record straight. I love Natasha Denona shadows. I love the midi palettes. It's $69, so it is pricey. But I saw this one and I was like, what? Like, this is so just cool and gray and looks super similar. And then I filmed a video where I reached out to some of my girlfriends in the beauty space and I asked them for like their favorite products. And so Kara from Beauty and the Frizz recommended the Xenon palette to me. And she was like, I love this eyeshadow palette. Like, I hope you love it too. Her looks were beautiful and creative. And so I decided to pick it up. And I have to say, there is something special about it. If you're not in love with the color story, I don't think you need to spend the $69, y'all. I think you can skip right over it. But there is something just special and fun, especially like these colors that are just a little different, like these two down here, or the Snowbow shade, or even some of these like deep dark shades. You have a little bit of a blue hue here with Ebb. I don't know, there's something different about it, something intriguing about it. Again, if this is not your vibe, you don't need to spend $69. But if you're kind of like into the grayish, like gray beige, I mean, it's worth checking out. And I never removed that. So that's also satisfying. There you go, the Xenon. This next palette I no longer have in my collection, but I did own it, okay? And this is super affordable. It is the Colourpop That's Taupe eyeshadow palette. Y'all, it's $14, okay, from Colourpop. Oh, hello, earring. It is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I had this one and I loved it, y'all. I used the heck out of that eyeshadow palette. I ended up decluttering it just because I had other palettes in my collection that I was getting more use out of, and I love to rotate. Like, I love to get new things, and I love to kind of pass on the ones that are not getting love anymore. But I felt like this quality was great. It's a smaller palette. It can fit in the palm of your hand. It's easy to travel with. You don't get a mirror or anything. It's just cardboard packaging. But I really, really loved the shades. Just the cool taupey vibes. Snake Eyes in the middle was stunning. I loved Constrictor. I loved Cold Blooded. The quality was great. I love the Colourpop quality, like I really do. I think that it's amazing, not just for being affordable, but just in general. I think that you get high pigment. I think that it's easy to blend out. And I mean, this is one where if you have maybe a teen in your life or a young adult or someone who's just dipping into makeup and they're like, hey, I want a cool toned eyeshadow palette, and they don't want to break the bank, like I think this would be a great starter palette. Starter into the cool tones. You have that like taupey vibe. You can get a little bit of rose gold in there, but also it's $14. It's affordable and I loved it. I loved it. So if you've tried it, let us know down below, but that's another one that I would highly recommend. Another palette that is no longer in my collection, but it was at one point in time, is the Alter Ego Coastal palette. And I think it's supposed to be inspired by the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette, but that palette is $69 and the one from Alter Ego is $22. When I used it, the formula was still great, y'all. Like, I still thought that it was a great palette. I created some fun Barbie looks with it. I enjoyed it. Ultimately, I ended up decluttering it because I just wasn't reaching for it a ton in my collection. I find that the Huda Beauty formula is not my favorite, and I thought this formula was fine and great, but like I don't really love the marble shades. I don't really love the ones that are like the clear jelly type of texture. So I used it, I tried it out, I passed it on to a friend, but I feel like if you love that color story, I mean, there are people who love the Huda Beauty palette, and you could go straight to that one for $69 and get the original. But if that's not in your price range and you can afford a $22 eyeshadow palette, I think that you will enjoy the looks that you get with this one. I mean, it was fun, it was easy to use, and it was a little bit more affordable. So I was a fan. You have everything from matte to shimmer to marbled. You have some browns, pinks, golds, deep purples. Like, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, and I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Jumping back into indie, a palette that I thought of almost immediately was from Lunar Beauty, and it is the Siren Sunset collection. This came out in the fall, I think maybe like October, November. We have the mermaid vibes here. I am here for it, but I love this one because it's a mixture of neutrals and color. So you have this top row here, but then you have some bright pops of color. I almost feel like maybe you could create a similar vibe to what I have on my eyes here. Like maybe if you took this purple, I don't really have the right shade of blue, but you could put this blue on the lid. Like, it's gonna give you similar similar vibes. But I love this as a neutral lover. I love the top row. I love the mermaid greens and purples. I really, really love this shade here. It's like duochrome and shifty. I love this shade here. It's duochrome and shifty. But this is another great one if you are looking for mixing like the neutrals and the colors together. This one is going to set you back $55. I personally do not have a code with Lunar Beauty, but I know several of my friends do, so it's out there. You can check out a code. Again, 18 color eyeshadow palette for $55, and y'all, it's beautiful. Of course, I have a video with this one, so it's gonna be linked down below if you're interested in checking it out. Okay, so if I had to pick a favorite, like out of the cool tone palettes that I'm sharing with you, if I had to pick a favorite, it has to be the newest one to grace my collection, and this one is the Adept Amy Loves palette. I have been loving this. Y'all, I've been loving this color story. It's absolutely beautiful. I love that you have these like these bright, shifty, multi-dimensional shimmers on the lid. You can create some nude looks with like 1997, caramel, lights up, pink, mocha, but like lavender. Y'all, I think this is probably my favorite like shade of life, okay? I have to swatch it on my finger. Like it's shifty, y'all. It's my favorite, my favorite, my favorite shimmer of life. I also really love Pisces and I love Indie. Like it's just, the Adept quality is amazing. This is $69. I bought this one myself. I did not have this sent to me. And y'all, I just love it so much. I've created 6 looks. I've created 2 more looks. Like I have been playing with it. I have been playing. It is amazing. I took it to Austin with me when I went on the CMG weekend retreat. Y'all just look at lavender. Like, do you not just want that all over your face? Because I do. I love the quality. Adept shimmers, like, they blow all of the other shimmers out of the water. I don't know what it is. My friend Heather Austin collaborated with Adept. That was my first dip into the Adept pond, dipping into the Indie pond, and I have not turned back since. I keep purchasing Adept palettes because I love the shimmers and the shift and the dimension and just how pigmented they are with how little work I have to do for it. So I love, love, love this one. Definitely a favorite for me, a favorite palette in my collection, a favorite cool tone palette in my collection, a favorite indie palette in my collection. Like, don't sleep on this one. If you were on the fence, if you were somewhat interested, I know it's expensive. I know it may not be in your budget. Ask for it for a holiday, for your birthday, for Christmas, for an anniversary. Today's my anniversary. Like, ask for it because it's amazing and I love it so much. Okay, but that is going to do it for this video. I wanted to share some cool toned eyeshadow palettes for the cool toned lovers out there. These are some of my recommendations, the ones that I have in my collection or had if they are from, you know, years past. But I just thought, I love eyeshadow palettes, I love makeup, I love playing, I love all of the things. And sometimes it's just fun to like talk, like shop your stash, pull out some old favorites, create new looks. Like, y'all, I just love makeup. I love makeup. I think I definitely went through a phase where I was more into warm tones, but I feel like I'm definitely into a cooler vibe these days. Like, I love me a cool toned, I love that lavender shade, y'all. I dream about the Adept Amy Loves lavender shade. I would love that, just a bunch of them in sample sizes. I would take it. I would take it. But that's gonna do it for this video. I would love to know down below, have you tried any of these palettes? What is your favorite cool tone recommendation? I would love to hear it. Check out the warm tone version of this video if you're interested. All of that good stuff is gonna be linked down below. But make sure you're subscribed before you go because y'all, we like to talk about makeup here and I would love to have you back. So I'll see you next time. Bye.